Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Nancy Drew. Notice here that there are just points in this game where the audio just doesn't play. It's just absolute silence. We can go into the menu and see that the music is playing, but as soon as we hit continue, it's just dead silence. We have been given what to me feels like way too difficult of a task in that we need to find 6 of these bags, do a lot of stuff to adjust the information and fill out this chart. And this just feels like this is a way more difficult challenge and puzzle. Possibly this was the puzzle you had to solve before you maybe switched to a second CD. I did see that this was a 2 CD game, but I also wouldn't be surprised if the first CD is just the install CD and the second CD is just a cutscene animation music CD. But yeah, I just couldn't possibly bother to do all of this. It would be super boring. So I have found a walkthrough, but before I just put in all the answers, there is a couple things that we should probably do legitimately. The first thing we should do legitimately is find Kapu Cave, which is mentioned on this board, if we can pull it up. And we can't. Let's see. Enter the coordinates for Kapu Cave that are on the clipboard into the GPS system. So, yeah. That's gonna suck. I need those numbers, and I'm not at a point in the walkthrough where it was showing me those numbers. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I should have been more prepared. Here it is. There's also a point here where we need to go to Kapu Cave. I mean, we need to call the Hardy Boys. And as I'm scrolling down here, it also seems to me like there's going to be at least one more puzzle here. Alright, well, let's just do it this way then. The actual location is not being mentioned here, and this is my real concern. A, that I can't pull up this information while in that menu, and B, that maybe this stuff is randomized. And if this stuff is randomized, then maybe the walkthrough won't be very helpful to me, in that the numbers and digits might be wrong. The way you would do this, certainly in a modern game, is you would have the player go through the motions, and then you would have the information automatically fill itself into these graph points. You wouldn't just have them manually type it in. So I've taken a picture now of that page. Honestly, I do think we are just at a point where it would be very legitimate to rage quit when running into this page, this point. So it's North 19, which, in fairness, none of these first numbers could really be anything then different as far as the degrees go. The map's too small. 19 degrees, 20, what they're calling hours, and then 30 seconds or minutes. Yeah, I guess they're calling them minutes. I also assume this game would just reject the input completely if you were even one digit off. I don't think it's going to have a range to say close enough. Whereas, honestly, if you were 1 minute off one direction or the other, you probably still would be able to find the place. 05 hours and 33 minutes. Then I guess I have to click the check mark, and Kapu Cave is here. And by the looks of it, there really only looks like there's enough room for one more waypoint. And I only accomplished that much by taking a picture with my cell phone, which you wouldn't have been able to do. Certainly back in the day, you wouldn't have had a cell phone or a digital camera of any sort, that not particularly one that would take enough of a resolution to allow you to see digits from a computer monitor on its tiny little LCD screen that you would have had on a old-fashioned digital camera. It is kind of crazy how much of the digital camera fad died immediately once the iPhone really started to give cameras just being built into smartphones. I don't want to leave. Now for this one we can assume it's no vegetation, but there's no screenshot tool in this game either, which, yeah, if I could bring up screenshots that would be very helpful. I'm not sure if the very first versions of Myst had screenshot tools built in, but certainly most of the versions after the very first versions had the ability to take a screenshot, and certainly it would be helpful here, because we're supposed to be identifying the vegetation that is around these traps. In this case, there is no vegetation around these traps. And this is the namesake of Kapu Cave, so yeah, I would expect there to be something more here. So 2, 4, 6 of those now have been collected. So clearly what you would have expected, and I assume this is also just no vegetation. I don't see any vegetation. You would have expected there to be a cutscene.
Look at all those webs. I wonder what made them, and why are there so many?
Knows the audio just clipping through it, but nothing really stopping you. And then we go from seeing a cave into seeing what definitely looks more like an Indiana Jones adventure.
Wonder what the deal is with this guy, and what's with all the animals on his teeth?
And so these are all going to be puzzles later, and just kind of pointless stuff. Being able to access this would have made more sense if there was just a door before you saw that, but I guess technically that is a door, so it's not that big of a deal. Alright. So what I was supposed to do is call the Hardy Boys. and let's see, get this time a different hardy boy than what we played as before, as far as getting an idea of what the vegetation is.
Hello?
Frank? Well, hi, it's Nancy. Sorry, guess I expected Joe to answer.
Well, as it happens, Joe's at the clinic getting treated for a concussion.
What? What happened?
Someone jumped him while he was poking around Big Island Mike's immersion center. Just after he left that message for you, in fact. Turned around and wham! Gets knocked unconscious by someone swinging a big wooden mask.
So, yeah. It still feels very much like they barely had the beginnings of a Hardy Boys story that
So
they're
you
integrating
don't know
into
who
this.
did it?
Not yet. So what's going on with you?
Well, let's see.
Phew, this Quigley lady sounds like she's gonna be a real taskmaster. Anything I can do to help?
Let's see how much help we could use.
I could use some help identifying some of the plants that the frass jars are hanging next to.
I'll take a look around here, see what kind of information I can dig up. I'll let you know what I find out.
Great. That's it for now.
Talk to you later.
Now the hope here is that we aren't going to end up having to go fish or make a necklace. We are just back to this main area to do more mini games potentially. Let's see. And I just don't know if any of this information here matters. So,
No can do.
the thing we're supposed to do is go here and spend a token on Hawaiian plants. But I think the smarter move here is to probably just talk to
Frank,
people.
how's your brother? He back from the clinic yet?
No, they wanted to keep him under observation for a while, but he'll be fine. Joe's nothing if not hard-headed. Any idea who clobbered him?
Like I told the cops, probably just some bum who wandered in off the beach looking for cash.
Does that happen a lot?
Couple times a year. Soon as they see me, they run like heck, but today I wasn't around, so somebody figured he'd help himself.
Could it have been someone who used to work here?
Look, whoever the guy was, he's no richer, I'm no poorer. He's gone, I'm here, no big deal. Well, except for your brother getting walloped like that.
Do the police have any leads?
Nah, real low priority case for them. The one guy I talked to barely looked around. But hey, you want to look around? Play detective like on TV? You go right ahead.
Is this your pawn ticket? I found it over there.
Never seen it before.
Then maybe it belonged to the guy who clobbered Joe.
Or maybe it's been lying there for weeks. The guy who cleans this place doesn't exactly keep it spotless. Namely, me.
Good talking to you.
Catch you later.
So what we want to see here is that the mask is missing that was used to hit the brother. We'll see if anything is changing here. I don't think anything is. Still can't do anything here. Can't leave. Still have no reason to know the code to that. Let's go talk to Surfer Girl if we can. See what she has to say. Now renting snorkel gear for 30 coins. I wonder if we're gonna have
Hey
to do
Frank, how's Joe doing?
He's okay, but he'd feel a lot better if he knew who attacked him like that.
I have no idea who that guy was or what he was up to. Nothing like that's ever happened to a guest before, ever. You're not gonna, like, sue us or anything, are you?
Nah.
That's a relief.
Do we have a necklace? I guess we do.
I was told that if I turn this necklace into you, I can get some Big Island bucks?
You can if you made it right. Let me take a look. Nice job. Here are your Big Island bucks. Pleasure doing business with you.
Think I could rent some snorkeling equipment?
Long as you've got 30 Big Island bucks, you can.
Oops. Guess I'm gonna have to wait.
Need anything else?
Guess I'll get out of your hair.
Sounds good.
So yeah, I think the snorkeling equipment is new, which I do believe that means...
Do that! What's the matter with you?
Nothing's the matter with me. I've come to my senses, that's all.
I'm not gonna let you ruin everything. You hear me? I'm not.
Don't do what I tell you.
No, I'm not going to listen to you ever again.
You come back here. Pull up.
So was that a conversation between the father, or was that a conversation
Hey,
between
what's going on?
Apparently it was them.
That was some argument you and your dad had.
You heard us?
Sort of. I couldn't really make out what you were saying. Not that I was trying to.
My dad can act like such a loser sometimes.
So can mine. But what did your dad do?
Let's talk about something else, okay?
Guess I'll get out of your hair.
Sounds good.
It is weird to walk away from somebody and have an argument trigger. It would make a lot more sense to walk towards a place and hear a argument happening midstream and then see the characters
Hey, what's going on?
run out and like in the argument as soon as you start showing up.
I couldn't help but overhear you and Pua arguing earlier. Anything serious?
Father-daughter stuff? No big thing. Forget about it.
Kinda reminded me of
Again,
some of
I
the
don't
fights
think
Joe
any of
and
these
I've
lines
had.
of
I
dialogue
said
matter.
forget about it!
So yeah, the direct questioning route is not going anywhere. We should check the phone and go ahead and use. Let's see if the phone number is already here. Nancy Drew, pawnbroker. Let's just call the pawnbroker. So we don't have to type in the number. That saves some time.
Pawn shop, this is Davy.
I found a receipt from your shop that somebody dropped. I'd kinda like to find that person, so I just wondered if you could maybe tell me who you wrote it out to.
Sure, what's the number?
It's receipt number 57441.
Hang on. How well do you know this guy?
Let's see.
I don't know him at all. Total stranger.
Well, you're not the only one who'd like to find him. Turns out the stuff I bought off of him was stolen. Cops are looking for this guy too. Name's Johnny Kuto. Apparently he's got a pretty nice career going for him as a freelance thief. Address he gave me turned out to be bogus. Gave me a cell phone number too, but he never picks up.
Think you could give me Kudo's phone number?
Got it right here. 808-555-9258. Good luck getting him to return your call.
What did you mean when you said Kudo is a freelance thief?
You tell him what you want, he'll steal it for you, for a price. Cops say he's pretty good. Think he's stolen everything from microchips to airplane parts.
What kind of stuff did Kudo sell to you?
Laptop, digital camera, and a PDA. Police said it was smaller than the stuff he usually goes after. Probably just needed some pocket change.
Do you have any idea why Johnny Kudo would be hanging around a business called Big Island Mike's Immersion Excursions?
Police mentioned that he's always looking for places to hide what he steals until it's safe to deliver it. Maybe somebody at this excursion thing is helping him out.
Hey, I really appreciate your help.
Anytime. Mahalo.
Okay, so we're moving the Hardy Boy investigation forward. Do I have any bait? No. go this way and see if we can see anything in the water. No. So if I am supposed to scuba dive, move would be to probably buy some bait and catch fish, even though I don't think catching fish actually does anything for you. It might be a case that every time we visit this area, the quality of the shells goes up, and as such it may be less of a grind to... Still feels like there should be some secret door here, but as far as I know, I've figured out that this whole setup and layout is so awkward on some of these locations that there is very possibly several spots I have just not seen. Spaces that might have more shells to find. I have 13, so I would need to get 17 more. I don't think the snow cones are going to help me with that. Okay. Do have 2 of these, but I have none of these, so I can't make that one. I have 1 of these, but none of these. None of these, so I can't make that one. None of those. I don't have enough of these to make that, and that would be a lot of work, frankly, to make that. None of these are particularly high quality payouts. Meanwhile, I hope I'm not actually having to buy all of this. Alright, I have 13. Buy the most expensive fishing bait. That leaves me with 1. So worst case scenario, the fishing fails miserably here. Like, I really don't even have a reason to do the scuba diving at the moment. And I think this highlights the issue where if you are going to... I have only 16 shots here, so I need to get it right every time. Yeah, if at any point you can call me Nancy Drew, you can call in the Hardy Boys. That tells me at any point this whole fishing could be done. And there's a high chance that a lot of players are going to put all of this off until the last second because they just won't realize that they're supposed to be calling the Hardy Boys as much as they normally have. I don't think any of these fishes sell for much more than 2 coins.
I got one.
So I guess maybe if I... What you'd expect here is you might get your bait back. But I'm not seeing that happen. So it's a lot of wasting the player's time with cutscenes. Also. It really isn't a system that feels like fun fishing. I'm not sure video games ever really captures fishing correctly anyways, because there's just a high level of patience
Bingo.
that you have to engage with to fish, and fishing is very much more of wasting time, getting away from people, being in solitude with maybe just a select few number of people, often drinking while fishing, just getting drunk. Whereas I'd say if you're fishing for actual subsistence, you're probably net fishing, spear fishing, and putting a lot more energy than what pole fishing is, or fly fishing. A big part of fishing, certainly fly fishing too, is either selecting lures or making lures. There's a lot of people that find enjoyment from that also, or at least there used to be. I'm not sure how many people still really enjoy fishing. Like these gold ones, I think, are the only ones that maybe pay a little bit more. So unless the rates go up, this really does feel like you're barely even making any positive outcome. What would be crazy is if I ended up selling 15 fish and getting only 15 coins.
That one got away.
And that certainly can happen. Like if you're bad at this, you could lose your bait multiple times. And certainly it's worth pointing out, this has nothing to do with solving a mystery. This is just wasting the player's time. This kind of minigame could have been in almost anything. When I think about the comparison, say, to Ocarina of Time's fishing minigame, the movement there is partially getting lucky, increasing your bait quality, increasing the fishing rod you're using, I believe, too, and going for different weights, and kind of getting a random outcome for different weights that kind of gave you a different outcome in an overall currency. Even at that, though, it is also worth pointing out that I didn't really love the fishing minigame in Ocarina of Time either. I played some fishing minigames to get really crazy, and it adds way more action than you actually would as you're fighting the fish. But noticeably, we're not even fighting the fish here. You're not, once you yank back on the fish, you just catch it. You're not having to reel it in. You're not having to give it enough slack to tire itself out so it doesn't tear the line. The line's not tearing. The hook's not getting destroyed. That is, I think, also worth pointing out that it's fairly expensive fishing in that you're just always losing hooks, fish, string, buying new equipment potentially. And that's just assuming you're fishing off a dock like this. It gets even more expensive once you start having fishing boats and sonar fish detection devices. That's when you start spending the big bucks. Last bit of bait. 30 minutes of fishing. That's about as much as I'm willing to do. And certainly it is definitely a case that that this too feels like this is designed to waste your time next to another puzzle that's obviously designed to waste your time. So overall, we have 14 fish. We paid 15 tokens for this. If each of these fish was worth 1, we would have had a negative of 1 coin. If these fish turn out to be worth more than 1, we will be in the positive by some amount, but very possibly not a large amount. Remember, our goal here was to get 30 coins.
Hey, what's going on?
Is it true you'll buy these fish from me?
Let's see. Looking good. There you go.
So we get 2 for each of those fish. And we get 4 for each of those fish.
Okay, what else?
So that was very positive. Let's move the main story
I'm not
forward
sure how
here,
to tell
or
you
the
this,
secondary
but
story.
I have reason to believe your dad is involved in something he shouldn't be.
What do you mean? Like what?
Like hiding or maybe even fencing stolen property for someone.
What?
Look, it's a real long story, and I can't prove anything, so you don't really have to worry. But if he was, say, trying to hide a bunch of stuff for somebody, where do you suppose he'd put it?
Oh my gosh, the chamber. That's what he's been doing in there. This island is riddled with lava tubes, tunnels made by ancient volcanoes. They go all over the place. My dad knows them all. Lately, he's been spending a lot of time in one of them. He
You should
calls it
make
the
the
chamber
mouse
because
move
it's so big, but he refused to
out of
tell
the
me what he's
way.
been doing. I was going to sneak down there and see for myself, but the earthquake caused this huge cave-in near the entrance. I can't get past it, but neither can my dad. So whatever he's been keeping down there is still there.
There's no other way to get into this chamber thing?
Yes, there is, from the water. It says so on this old chart my dad has.
Think I could see it?
The chart? Sure. The problem is, you can't just snorkel to the entrance. You have to ride different currents to get there. The chart supposedly says how to do that, but I've never been able to figure it out. But if you can figure it out, you might be able to find the entrance. But if you do, and it turns out that my dad is doing something illegal, I want you to promise me that you won't call the police without talking to me first.
There's a decent chance she's doing the illegal thing and she's just a really good liar.
Deal.
I promise I won't call the police. Say it.
I promise I won't call the police unless I talk to you first. Okay?
Okay. The chart's in that old trunk in the immersion center. To open it, you'll need to know what my father calls his favorite flavor of shave ice. I can never remember, so you'll have to ask him. Just don't make me sorry I trusted you.
Okay. So we now have 37 things. And we now have a reason to do the shaved ice. Okay. So let's just go ask him and see if we get a direct answer. We probably won't.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm curious. What's your favorite flavor of shave ice?
Tell you what, I'm kinda hungry, so I'm gonna make you guess. You make me a shave ice and bring it back here. If it's my favorite flavor, or combination of flavors, I'll tell you. If it's not, well, you'll just have to keep making them till you get it right.
You sure you couldn't just tell me?
Like I always say, a busy customer is a happy customer.
Ever heard of a guy named Johnny Kudo?
Never heard of him.
Think Pua knows him?
She might have gone out with him or something. Why are you asking?
I think he may be the guy who clobbered Joe.
Playing Kojak, huh? Well, I wish I knew something about this Kudo guy, but I don't.
Good talking to you.
Catch you later.
Okay, so what's the way to do this? Because we really don't have a lot of opportunities here for failure. I know that there's some kind of binary way in which you can do this. And that if there's 9 options. If I did, say, this flavor, this flavor, this flavor, and this flavor on one, that would, if he says he likes something on that, then that should tell me something. Okay. That one. That one. They go back into the same spot. And that one. Alright, and so we can only do 3. Alright, well.
There. Now I'll just take this to Big Island Mike and hope that it's his favorite flavor.
So that was peach, banana, and pineapple. See if he likes anything there. Although, peach, banana, and pineapple, none of those words would fit in English.
Want something else?
So whatever flavor he's going to call it is probably a made-up word or a Hawaiian word.
Got a shave ice for you to try.
Let's have it. Nope, I don't like any of those flavors. Try again.
Alright, well, negative response is just as helpful, I suppose, as a positive response. Right. So, another coin. And we'll do this one, and this one, and this one.
That should do it. Let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
So that's coconut, honey, I guess, or wasp, and cherry. I
Want
imagine
something
he
else?
likes 3 flavors.
Got another shave ice for you.
Let's have it. I only like one of those flavors. Try again.
Okay. So we know he likes one of these flavors. The move here, if he likes 3 flavors, is to assume that it's the blue one. So we're gonna do this, this, and this. If it says I only like one of those flavors, then it's not the blue one. If it says I like 2 of those flavors, then it might be the blue one and one of these.
Feeny, let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
What really sucks here, though, is there's a high chance of failure here, and we're gonna just have to go back and fish more.
Want something else?
Even if we do everything here, we still probably are gonna end up having to go back and fish.
Got another shave ice for you.
Let's have it.
They're not even animating what the cone looks like.
You got 2 of the flavors, right? Try again.
Okay. So, now the trick is it's to either do this, this, and this, or this. Or, yeah, I think that's probably the best move. We'll just do this. I'm probably not doing this the best way. This. And this.
That should do it. Let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
So I'm assuming that the cherry and the lime are the things he doesn't like.
Want something else?
Got another shave ice for you.
Let's have it. I only like one of those flavors. Try again.
Okay. So, we've either made a mistake here, and this is not included, or this will be right. Doing this.
That should do it. Let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
If it's if he doesn't like all three of these, then we gotta cycle out this and try this. I think it's real easy to get confused here, and it would be real easy to use a walkthrough if this isn't randomized.
Got another shave ice for you.
Let's have it. You got 2 of the flavors, right? Try again.
Okay. So what does 2 of the flavors mean? I think it means this.
That should do it. Let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
But if it doesn't mean that, I'm probably confused at that point, and I'm gonna have to resort to just
Want something else?
random guesses.
Got another shave ice for you.
Let's have it. I only like 1 of those flavors. Try again.
Seriously. Okay. So that does mean this is one. I'm confused. Is that really what I'm supposed to do? Well, it seems like I
There we
can't
go.
do anything
Let's see
anyways.
if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
At least that'll tell me something.
Want something else?
Got another shave ice for you.
Let's have it. I only like 1 of those flavors. Try again.
I'm below 30 at this point. So it can't be this, can't be this, can't be that. Did I not ever try this one? Maybe that is the case.
There we go. Let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
The goal
something
now
else?
is to not waste so much that I have to make 2
Got another shave ice for you.
Let's have it.
necklaces or shave or fish once again.
You got 2 of the flavors, right? Try again.
What's concerning me here is that there may be only 2 flavors he really likes. Okay. None of these flavors in this triangle. This one, or this one you liked. And we tried this, and this. just gonna try something here. And then I'm going to play 3 flavors.
There we go.
He shouldn't
Let's
like
see
at
if
all.
this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
He says he likes any of those, then I have confused this. You'd think
something
maybe it
else?
would give us a
Got
grid
another
or
shave ice for
something.
you.
Let's have it.
This is an old enough game where pulling out a pen and paper to solve it is somewhat
Nope,
expected.
I don't like any of those flavors. Try again.
That should do it. Let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
Same lines of dialogue over and over again.
Want something else?
I guess this is technically solving a puzzle,
Got another shave ice for you.
Let's have it.
but it also just seems like it's wasting the player's time and money in game currency.
I only like one of those flavors. Try again.
Okay, so we made a mistake at some point. I could swear these 3 he didn't like, and these 3 he didn't like. Did we, at some point, never try this, and this?
There. Let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
You'd think
Want
it would
something else?
it would give you more feedback and say, yeah, I like
Got another
this
shave ice for you.
flavor.
Let's have it.
After a while, it'd be helpful.
I only like one of those flavors. Try again.
What in the world is going on? How can that be possible? What in the world did I mess up? Let's just redo the very first test. These aren't moving around, are they? No, they're in
Feeny,
the same
let's
spot.
see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
And you would think the game would be generous and give you the
Want
tokens
something
back
else?
afterwards.
Got another shave ice for you.
Let's have it. Nope, I don't like any of those flavors. Try again.
Where did my logic fail me? Maybe not get that one. Maybe I'll try this one and this one.
There. Let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite
Down
flavor.
to 24 coins.
Oops. So much for my shave ice.
What? What happened there?
Want something else?
Good talking to you.
Anytime.
I clicked something there that screwed me up. The audio played twice.
That should do it. Let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
So if you exit, you lose the coin and you don't get the shave ice.
Want something
The
else?
game should obviously stop you
Got
from doing
another
it.
shave ice for you.
Let's have it. Nope, I don't like any of those flavors. Try again.
Oh, this is insane. This is not making any sense at all. So I just did this one, and this one. And it doesn't like that one, or that one. The only possible 3 combination, assuming it's a 3 combination, would be this one, and this
There.
one. And
Let's see if this is Big Island Mike's favorite flavor.
it automatically accepted that one, like it was the right one.
Want something else?
Got another shave ice for you.
Let's have it. You did it. That was my favorite flavor combination. Lime, coconut, and mango. I call it honiawa. That's Hawaiian for sour kiss.
And before I do anything else, I'm going to just pull out my cell phone, and pull up the camera and zoom in and take a picture of the spelling of the word. If I can get it to zoom in. There we go. Take a couple pictures just to make sure I get it in an unblurry form.
Thanks for your help.
Catch you later.
So yeah, that's absolute garbage. Designed exclusively to waste your time and waste your currency. Okay. Let's just bring it up so I can read it. H. Now, I don't know why the daughter, being Hawaiian, or at least part Hawaiian, would not be able to remember the word. Since she probably would have grown up hearing Hawaiian speak. It is also worth pointing out that while the father looks like your typical big fat Hawaiian native islander, the daughter definitely doesn't really come off like that. She looks much more like a just white girl. She could be mixed Hawaiian.
Whoa,
Who
weird
knows?
looking dude. Looks like he has something to do with getting into that chamber thing. But what? I've never seen him before. But maybe Nancy has.
Hello?
Hey Nance, it's me. Listen, I just came across something kinda weird and I thought I'd see if you knew anything about it.
I'd love to be able to help you. What is it?
Well, it's a drawing of this creepy face that has a mouth full of teeth with all these animals on them.
Wait a minute. I saw a face like that. It was carved into this wall I found while emptying frass jars for Quigley. Tell me more about the animals.
Well, there's an eel, a turtle, a shark, a manta ray, a porcupine fish, an octopus, a crab, and an urchin.
Interesting. Maybe I'll go back and take another look at it.
It has something to do with this old map I found, so I have the feeling it's important.
Then I'll definitely take another look at it.
Thanks, Nance. See ya.
So, yeah, what am I supposed to be doing now? Like, the game just jumped me back to Nancy Drew without telling me the plant identification information. So it definitely feels like I'm playing out of order of the order that the game would want me to play. Also, I'm hoping she knows the correct order in which to push all the buttons, which I assume that's what they are. Let's see.
Something goes here, but what?
What am I supposed to be doing now? Like, I think the move is to call the Hardy Boys back. Because it doesn't look like there is a...
Hello?
Hi, Frank. Me again.
Sup?
Nothing much.
Mostly I just wanted to say hi.
Glad you called. Talk to you soon, okay?
So yeah, the game, I think, jumped me. But to pass the currents, we need to figure out some other bit of information. And we just don't have that. The first thing that we need to do is let's just get back on track. And...
Hey, this'll cost you a Big Island buck, pal.
let's just... we put in a credit. It says we have 20 of them.
Hey, this'll cost you a Big Island buck, pal.
It's not in the inventory. So, my thought is that maybe you have to follow these symbols when you're scuba diving. But then that doesn't really connect to Kapu Cave, other than my thought that maybe, just maybe, Kapu Cave is connected to the underground lava veins. Just taking pictures of this. And so the Kapu Cave might be the exit. Meanwhile, we kind of have nothing else that we can do. So let's see. You have to put in a credit here from the previous screen to click here. So here's where you would get the information about the plants, and then you would use that information to identify what plants are above the frost traps, to then fill in the frost trap chart. They do warn you here that it'll cost you another credit if you leave. Unfortunately, it's one of two things. It's either fish some more for the snorkel gear, which maybe I'll do that off screen.
Hey, what's going on?
Yep. Yeah, she doesn't really scream Hawaiian.
I'll check back with you later.
Let me know when you want to try surfing again.
Blonde hair, in particular, doesn't scream native Hawaiian. My only hope here is that I could find enough things to build a necklace. I don't think I have enough. Let's see which one. I need 2 more of these. Or probably. Yeah, either 2 more of these or something else. There's an assumption here that if I go this far and talk to her...
what's going on?
I'll check back with you later.
Let me know when you want to try surfing again.
Notice that she mentioned surfing, but you can't actually do it. I'm hoping that that's far enough to reset them so I can look around and pick up some more seashells. Although it may not be. It might be that there is a fairly complicated scripted scenario here in which you refill the seashells by interacting more with other things. I really don't expect... I guess this is possibly where the snorkeling goes. So that didn't refill anything but one location. My concern is that we're going to end up having to buy all of these items for reasons to open up the door. Could buy cheaper bait. And then maybe you'd have to fish more to get a good return on that. But assume that the more you invest, the better off you are. Okay. Still don't have any of those, though there's clearly some items that just don't show up. And my guess is you only get some of these rocks by playing the Wiki-Tiki game, which is way too slow of a experience. I'm too short to make an Aloha necklace. Even if I did make an Aloha necklace, I'm not sure that's quite enough income. Yeah. Yeah, it really does seem like the Aloha necklace is the only one you can actually make, just by picking up shells off the ground. Even if I did make an Aloha necklace, it's only going to get me up to 25. Oh, this is super irritating. Let's just go back to Nancy Drew. You could call Richard
Hello?
Atkins.
Hey, Nancy, it's Frank.
Hi, were you able to dig up any info on plants?
You betcha.
Great, let's hear it.
Well...
The puhala tree is about 30 feet tall with long leaves and support roots. The hala pepe tree has smooth gray bark and long skinny leaves. The a'ali'i plant has small green leaves and distinctive purple clusters. The koa tree is very tall with sickle-shaped leaves. The wheelie wheelie tree drops its leaves, then blooms in the summer. Now paka is a shrub with white flowers that look like they've been torn in half. The kalui is a shrub with fuzzy oval-shaped leaves. The banana plant has huge leaves and bears, ta-da, bananas. The candlenut tree is bushy with clusters of tiny white flowers that develop into green nut-like jobs. And Myconia, boo, is an extremely invasive tree with big leaves that are green on top and purple on the bottom and have 3 veins. Okay, anything else you want to know?
No, not right now.
Good. How about I talk to you later?
Deal.
Okay. So that goes through the motions of identifying the plants without actually identifying the plants. So we can just... Now, my whole goal an hour ago was to just cheat the input on this clipboard challenge, because it's just not something I think would ever be enjoyable. Sitting through here and taking every single one of these. Now, in fairness, I started with the purple one, and I think the other ones are perhaps a little bit easier to maybe have a little fewer items to deal with, but maybe not. It's just way too much variety. Really, there should be at most 6 different variations in all the same orientation. Yeah, Nancy Drew could have automatically just sorted everything so it was in the same orientation at a right angle, up and down. That way you could figure out what it was. A more modern game would probably have you hover over an item and it would tell you whether that was a seed or a bit of frass. But yeah. One of 2 things are going to happen here. Either I'm going to cheat through this, or I am going to have to do all of this off screen. And my hope is that I can cheat through it. So I have a picture here in a walkthrough. And specifically for purple, it says the answer should have been 04, 119, 9 numbers of seeds, and 105. So, before we choose that, the vegetation code being wrong is very believable. 119 being just a little bit off is believable. Let's look at the purple. Is it possible that we can find what would be 9 seeds? And get it to 119 as far as the frass goes. A certain level, I guess it would just make sense to put similar things next to similar things, and then that might give us a general idea of where the mistake is happening. Just sort. The weirdness certainly here is that if you're buying a Nancy Drew game, and even if the premise of the Nancy Drew game is that you're going to work with an entomologist, you really wouldn't expect that you are actually going to end up having to do entomologist type jobs. Okay. So, the goal is 119, we're at 238, and the goal is to have 9 seeds. If these 4 here, which are believable to be seeds, are seeds, and everything else here is a seed, that gets us to 146. So, we have 9 seeds now, or things we're labeling as seeds, and we need to lose something that we would consider insect parts, which this is the one I would consider to be an insect part. And just like that, we are lined up perfectly at 119 with 9 seeds. But on my own, I definitely would never have gotten that correct. There's no way. That tells me as too big of a coincidence for that to not be correct. So we'll put in right numbers. For that, and then we will fill in the rest of this just without bothering to actually do any of it. Yeah, it probably would take me an hour, a very frustrating hour, to do all of this. So just copying the answers via walkthrough, which this is probably a great example of why there is such a high number of gamers out there that don't make it to the credits of games, when there has just been this long history, sordid history of games being way too hard and having major difficulty spike. Like, I was calling this a baby game before we ran into this puzzle, and now I definitely cannot make that claim. There's no way a 12-year-old, 14-year-old, even 16-year-old would really have put up with this. This is way too much to ever have to manually type in for any kind of game, unless you were making something that was a super difficult puzzle game, and even at that, there just isn't really anything too much like that out there. When you think of big puzzle games like The Witness, even those puzzles are still relatively easy enough that you're not having to write things down and calculate things and take so many steps to find a solution. That is just way too much there. Now, the next part of this puzzle is to figure out what I'm supposed to do after we typed in all of that. A big part of this is certainly also that the case that this is written in cursive, and I'm not having the easiest of time reading all the cursive. But yeah, again, at most maybe 3 types of seeds, 3 types of insect parts, 3 types of frass would have been the maximum I would have ever said you could have comfortably made a puzzle like that. And you really should have done it only once, and then maybe after a couple other puzzles do it a second time, and then maybe after a couple more puzzles Okay. To annulate the contents of the frass jars, put the frass sample into the empty test tubes. Add 2 drops of BA-19 to the test tube containing the frass sample. Note the color of the sample. Put the sample of possible into the test of possible source into the separate test tube. Add 2 drops of BA to the test tube containing the sample. If the color doesn't match the sample, repeat using other possible source materials. Color map matches frass sample. Eureka, check label for name of food source. Alright, so there's a whole nother element to this. Where? I don't know if we actually have to do any of that. Or if it isn't just a case where I'm actually just clicking on this. Because none of these samples look like they're doing anything. Alright. Put this in here. And scan this and hopefully this will work.
119,456. All right.
Yep. And out of an abundance of caution, I will just take a picture of that number. Keep trying to zoom and then my phone keeps recognizing that as me wanting to take a picture. I mean a video. Screenshots would be extremely helpful. And I guess we will call that a day.
Done.
Let's see. Which of these did we really
Done.
do?
Did that. Did that. Did that.
So, like a whole hour.
Can't check that off yet.
Sort and record the contents of Quigley's fresh traps, follow the directions on her clipboard and report back to her. So we haven't done that yet. Yeah. It's really not that many checkboxes. There should be a little bit more. Yeah. Unfortunately, we are definitely not getting better as the game goes on. Definitely is just wasting the player's time quite a bit. And yeah, at any point I could call back to Hardy Boys and do some more fishing, but I don't feel like doing that. I'm hoping what happens is we just get to a point where we can collect barely enough shells to avoid fishing. But I bet we don't. I bet we end up fishing 4 or 5 times in this game. Anyways, we're going long, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.